Good afternoon. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm great, Brian. How are you today?
I am excellent. Let's talk about this this Parkland survivor that kills herself, and what's your thoughts on that?
You know, what we're hearing about that story about Sydney Aiello is that she graduated from the high school where the shooting was when she was a student. And what the theory is that she was experiencing survivor guilt and finding it difficult to go to classes at college because they reminded her of the classrooms where the shooting was happening. And, you know, survivor guilt is a really real issue, whether we're talking Vietnam vets or whether we're talking survivors of shootings or whatever. Really what survivor guilt is feeling guilty that you've survived a traumatic event that someone else didn't. So it's something that we need to be mindful of for those who go through difficult life circumstances and know how to react appropriately.
Yeah, that's really new to me. I have not heard about that.
You know, that was something that I experienced myself. I was on internship as a neuropsychologist in Oklahoma City at the Health Sciences Center the year of the Oklahoma City bombing. And so that was something that I saw in those who survived as well as those who work there. And really what's important to know is that if you are a survivor of a traumatic event, really take stock of who was responsible for that event. The survivors, by and large, are not the ones who are responsible, but they're feeling guilty because they've survived and someone else hasn't. And something else that can help is to think about how your loved ones feel that you survived.
Let me ask you another. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I was going to say, don't you think there was anybody around her that could have sensed that she was suffering from this?
I do, but frequently we don't recognize it. If we haven't gone through it ourselves, you know, you and I have talked before, if you haven't gone through depression, you may not recognize depression in someone else. And if you haven't gone through the traumatic event, like her family went through it, but in a different way than she did. She was actually there. Mm-hmm. But we've seen other stories of this. There was recently, within the last couple of days, a story of a father of a 6-year-old who was a victim of Sandy Hook, who recently committed suicide. You know, we feel such loss when those around us die, especially in such a tragic way, and we feel helpless to do anything about it. But we can change our perspective and try to work towards the good now that we've experienced it and understand it from a personal perspective.
Okay, let's talk about, shift gears real quickly. Let's talk about the new drug for postpartum depression, the pros and the cons about that.
Yes. So this new drug has been put out by the FDA. It's called Zulresso. And I'm excited to see that there's something on the market because postpartum depression affects about 15 to 20% of the general population. But at least 50% of women who go through postpartum depression never get help because there is still such stigma. But the other reason I don't think that they get help, Brian, is exactly what we've been talking about, the fact that they don't know what it is that they're dealing with. They just think they're sleep deprived as a new mom. There are pros and cons to this Zulresso. One of the biggest pros that I'm excited about is that research is showing that it starts being effective within 60 hours. That's 2.5 days of starting treatment, whereas most antidepressants take somewhere on the order of 4 to 6 weeks. And when we're talking postpartum depression, we're talking a mom who's at risk for harming herself or her baby. So 60 hours is a dramatic improvement.
It is.
But there is a con to this, too, and that is that in those new stages of having a new baby, moms don't want to leave their babies. And this drug has shown to have some side effects varying between headache or dizziness to, in some cases, some significant sedation. So because of that, the moms have to go to the clinic and be monitored for that. And they may have to separate from their child for a couple days. So that's the con side of it. But I think this is showing that researchers are recognizing postpartum depression is a significant issue, and we've got to do something to help these moms.
Dr. Michelle Bengtson is our guest on the line. Let's shift gears one more time to the Biebs.
Sure.
You know, back in 2017, he had to cancel the majority of his 2017 Purpose Tour. I had tickets to it at AT&T Stadium. Thank you very much. Yeah. but to focus on, quote, deep-rooted issues. And he's very open in saying that, he suffered from depression. He suffered from anxiety, that he wasn't truly happy, and he had to, get up every day to entertain thousands of people, and he was not emotionally into it. He's taking a step back. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that's awesome, because what he's showing people is that taking care of ourselves is crucial before we can help other people. It goes back to the whole airline where they tell you, in case of need of oxygen, put your own oxygen mask on first before you help someone else. I'm thrilled that he's doing that. I'm thrilled that as a public figure, he's bringing attention to this, because that's usually when change starts to happen, is when the public figures say, hey, I've struggled with this. Let's do something about it. So I'm very proud of him for doing that, and I hope that he gets the help that he needs, because hope is out there. Help is out there.
There you go. And I know for a fact that he kind of disappeared a couple of years ago to find God, and was literally living in a friend's basement in the Midwest, studying the Bible, reading the Bible, and getting help. And that very much turned his life around. So he is definitely someone who's found God, getting a nice relationship with Jesus, and so trying to turn his life around. But I'm with you on this. I think it's great that he's doing this, and I hope it inspires a lot of younger people to recognize, if they are dealing with issues, don't go the route of hurting yourself, but go the route to telling somebody and getting help.
Yes, I think what he's demonstrating, Brian, is there is no shame in getting help, and so I'm so proud of him for that.
Dr. Michelle Bengtson, hey, best website if someone wants to get a hold of you for any number of reasons?
They can find me or my book at drmichelleb, as in boy.com.
There you go. All right, until next time, I appreciate your time, and have a great rest of the afternoon.
Thanks so much, Brian. You do the same.
Thank you. There you go. Good stuff there. The Beavs. Fan of the Beavs?